Hey, what we're going to do now is take a look at how we create custom tests in Galileo. As always, when I start in Galileo, I always start with the dashboard, not the dashboard, actually, the launchpad that shows all the square tiles. So the launchpad, again, has the square tiles. You can click on the dashboard up here. It's the circle with the 4 squares in it. This is the dashboard, and that gives you the speedometer. This is the launchpad. So we typically start with the launchpad. And if I want to create a test, the first thing I have to remember is tests are always created in libraries. So I have to know which library the test is going to be in. So I'm going to click on assessment at the top and go to test construction. So assessment, test construction, and I'm going to build the test. Now, when you build a test, you have to say what library you're in. It doesn't really matter what school is selected here or the teacher's name. That's kind of irrelevant. You can pick any school you want, any teacher's name. If you're at a school level, you may only have access to one school, so it's kind of doesn't really matter anyway. And then you certainly don't have to pick a class, but you do have to pick the library. And for some reason, every library is available to every school. So the library I'm looking for is FCPS SBIS's shared library. So I'm going to scroll down until I see my FCPS. I'm at the D's, the E's. There we go. FCPS District Elementary School ELA. That's not it. I want one that's for the SBIS. There we go. Elementary School SBIS Shared Library. So I'm going to create the test and I'm going to share it in that library. You can see I've already got a test that's in that library. But to create a test, now I'm going to select Create New Test. Takes just a second, and it's going to give me lots of options. I need to enter, well, I see the library. This is where I'm going to save the test. The test title, I'm just going to call it Sample Test 2 to be deleted. That way anyone who looks at it knows it's just it's kind of a sample test. And for kicks, I'm going to say this is a 4th grade test. And I'm going to say it's written around, let's say math. So I'm going to scroll down. You can see all of these subcategories here. See if one just says plain old math. There we go, math. And it's not really going to matter why I selected that, and you're going to see why in just a second. So now I look for save. So that's kind of the background to the test. Now I have to put items in the test. And the way I put items in a test is I can create my own through Item Builder, but we're going to do item search. We're going to search for standards-based items. And I'm going to search by standards, so select a set of standards. It makes sense. And I think I said this was going to be I didn't say the grade level up here, but I think we said it was 4th grade. So I'm going to go, there's 4th grade, but that's career studies. That's not what we want. I want 4th grade math, 4th grade English. I can type math right here maybe, M-A-T-H. And I can search. Oh gosh, all these are math tests. There we go. Kentucky 4th grade math tests. Now I see a list of 4th grade math standards. And let's just suppose I'm doing 4OA3, solve multi-step problems. And let's suppose I'm also going to do, specifically, I want 3A. And let's suppose I also want 4A, just for kicks. And that's all good. Now I'm going to hit search. I'm going to move this video box out of the way now. I'm going to click search for items related to those 2 standards, and I can see there's 30 items. And now I can see the standards that are selected right here. And if I thought, well, I don't really want everything related to 4OA3, just 3A, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Oh gosh, now my items dropped down to 0, so I don't really know what happened there. So let's go back and do this again. Search by standards. There we go. And I want OA3. And I'm going to say search. So it looks like those items, they're all under OA3. They weren't under 3A. So I'm going to now take a look at these items. I'm going to refine that. Let's suppose the items I'm after are open response. So now I'm just going to click off someplace. It's going to refine my search. There's only 2 open response items related to 4OA3, and you can see the 2 items right here. They may be great questions, but there's only 2 of them. So let's do something else. Let's also select, this is always interesting, the technology enhanced items. See if that broadens this. Still only 2. Typically, we have a lot of multiple choice questions. So let's see if that helps. Now we have 24. So I know that 22 of those questions are going to be multiple choice. And if I start to limit those right here, that didn't change my number of items. So I know that none of those were technology enhanced. And then maybe I could get rid of this open response. And I bet you'll find, yep, we dropped the 22. So I'm going to go back and put that open response back in and maybe multi-part. And there's 30 items now. So now you can see how we're adding possible items to this test we're creating. Let's say I don't want to do DOK1. I want to limit this to DOK2 and 3 test items. Now I'm down to 14, but this is getting better. All of these possible items are in grade 4 OA3. They're all DOK2 or 3. They're all either multiple choice, multi-part, or open response. And let's imagine I really want to push the boat a little bit, and let's not even do multiple choice. I've got 5 items. And if I read these carefully, I could decide this is exactly an item that I want. So I'm going to select it. It's going to pop up over here. And I'm thinking, well, let's do test item number 3 as well. Now I should be able to see that over here. So now I've got 2 questions on this test or quiz or formative that I've built. And I could say, yep, this is exactly what I want. So what I'm going to do now is, well, I was going to look for save, but this is all automatically saved. So this test is being saved as we're going, because if you look around, you don't see anything that says save. So it's saved automatically. That's good stuff. Now, if I want to, I can come up here and I can edit the test info. And you can see, let me just add a note here. This is, type it correctly, this is a sample test. Feel free to delete any time. And I'll sign it, Mike, and save that. So I've edited that test info. I can preview this online for the kids. I can preview it without text-to-speech. So this is what it looks like for the kids. And then if I move over here, that shows me item number 2, previews it for the kids, part 1 and part 2. Really good question, actually, I think. That's good stuff. So I'm previewing it. Now I'm going to go back and let's do one more thing. Item 2, let's try that one more time. Back again. Oh, it opened a new tab. So I was in a new tab for this preview. Now I have to go back to this tab to actually look at the test builder, and I can preview for the teacher. So this gives me the details around the test. Gives you some of these numbers that relate to the test, the standard, the DOK, the points, text-to-speech eligible, and this next one is the standard, the grade, the standards listed here as well. Text-to-speech eligible, it's multi-part, DOK2, worth 2 points if the computer graded it. It even gives you the correct answer. And again, it opened it in a new tab. So if I back up, well, I can't, right? I can't. But if I click on this tab, it takes me back to this test builder. So we're in good shape here. I've created this test. It's what's called under construction. So now if I go to my, let's suppose I want to schedule this test. I go to assessment, test scheduling, there we go, bulk scheduler. And when you schedule a test, you got to remember what library it's in. And this is in my FCPS elementary school SBIS shared library, bulk scheduler. And I always schedule from a library, and there's lots of libraries. Like there's these district elementary school math tests. It's not what I'm after. What I wanted was the district FCPS elementary school SBIS shared library. And what I'm going to notice is that test isn't there. And that's a little bit frustrating because I know I just made it. Let's see if we can figure out why. I'm going to go back to test construction, test builder. And I'm going to pull up this test because the library is selected already. It defaults to whatever was last. And I can see the test is right here. But notice the test status is it's under construction. If a test is under construction, it can't be scheduled. So I'm going to select the test. Now you should see in the top of your screen the great big old empty box that says publish test. I'm going to select publish test. Now I'm going to go back to my test scheduling and see if it works. So I'm going to go to assessment, test scheduling, bulk scheduler. Now I see that it's listed. So now I can select the test and I can go to next. And now I'm working through the scheduling process. What schools do I want to assign it to? I'm going to say the Able Academy, which is a good test school because that school exists in paper only. There's no kids nor teachers assigned to it. So I'm going to hit next. And then I keep going through the process. I think we said this was a 4th grade test, so I would include 4th grade, and so on and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. The main goal of this was just to talk about the test building process. So test construction, test builder, and you have to, the school and class that's irrelevant, you may have to select one to make this work, but what is relevant is the library in which the test will go. And you're only going to see libraries you have access to. I'm interested in FCPS ES SBIS shared library. Once I've selected the place it's going to go, then I create a new test. And then we continue the process like we did earlier. So that'll do it for now. Thanks.